Hi, my name is Miriam Cutelis, and I'm an art teacher at Arlington Public Schools. I am here to do a quick video on resources for drawing. So hopefully these are going to be helpful for a elementary art classroom. Some of these ideas might also be helpful for older classes, but I am an arts educator in elementary, so hopefully that will help. I have been an educator now for 21 years. I am national board certified. I hold 2 masters in special education, and you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Now, the most important thing about drawing is try to always have the actual item if possible. Here we went on a nature walk and we collected items from our nature walk. Here's a closer look at some of the items being taped on with clear tape to some card or an index card, and then they were hung in a display wall so that kids can go shopping for them when they drew them. We do use magnifying glasses when we are drawing items from nature so that we can more clearly see the details of the lines in the items. Over the years, I've also collected a ton of animal figurines. Oftentimes they have to be more realistic, not stuffies necessarily, although you do see some in this image right here. But the next best thing would be a model of the actual object. So I do have lots of insect and animal models. And it started with actually my kids' toys that I didn't have the heart to throw away or give away. So I ended up just bringing it to the classroom, and they've become really, really helpful. Another thing I like to do is when I'm teaching the kids how to draw an animal from different perspectives, whether it's from the side, the front, or the back, I will hot glue gun the item onto a upside down recycled container. And that way they can easily turn it, and it becomes kind of this like pedestal that the item sits in. And when you turn it, then they're able to then see a different perspective. There's something about the pedestal that allows the kids to just rotate the item and then see it in a different way. Whereas if they held it, they could see the bottom and it just becomes a little messier. I think there's something about the container that makes it a little easier. When we do still life drawings, I do use plastic foods. Again, these are leftovers from my own children. And I find that having actual items that they can hold, they are able to learn how to draw these items in front of one another much easier. This image demonstrates how I use visuals. Over the years, I have asked my families for calendars of animals or of landscapes, sometimes flowers. And actually I have 3 giant boxes of visuals in my classroom of primarily these items. I have smaller folders of other visuals, but these are the primary ones that tend to take up a lot of our time, because kids in elementary do love animals, are very interested in animals. It becomes really easy to teach them about lines and shapes when drawing animals. So having actual visuals that they can use are very helpful. Another thing I wanted to say was, if you have access to a laminator, a lot of these can be used over many, many years if you trim them and then laminate them. And that way students can also take them to their tables and they do not become damaged as quickly as they would had they not been laminated. I do print out how-to sheets a lot, and let's say we are working on insects, I will print almost way too many of them, of different types, of different styles. And I find that when you do that, the students will navigate to the one that is just the right challenge for them. It's an interesting phenomenon, but I noticed it with my own children and then in the classroom as well, that students will often pick the one that they are able to be successful at and then move themselves up the ladder as they become better. So do not worry about having variety of how-to drawing sheets. Just make sure that you have a variety so that the kids can then find the ones that challenge them just enough, and you will see that they will get better and better. I believe it's important that every student have a sketchbook. And so if you have an art program, I think the most important thing is that each student has a sketchbook, and that each unit begin with them doing some exploration in their sketchbook, or any large project begins with idea listing or idea generation within their sketchbook pages. For many, many years, we've used composition books as sketchbooks. So if push comes to shove and that's the only option, I would definitely take it. Here's an example of a laminated calendar page for a drawing unit. A lot of times over the lamination, I will use a Sharpie and draw over the larger shapes, which I find helps the students better identify the large shapes they need to be drawing in order to then add the details. I will not add the details with a Sharpie. I will only draw over the larger shapes. And I find that this really assists the students in being successful. Here's another example of a calendar page. This one, obviously, I don't think it's laminated, but I did draw over the face of the cheetah, and for the child to better identify the shapes that they're looking for when they're drawing. And I find, again, that they're really successful in their renditions. Again, I call these helper lines because it's sort of this in-between help. Of course, you can put them away and bring out the ones that don't have the lines as you see them become more confident in their drawing. Of course, I will also consult with our school librarian to make sure I have enough for books. Books are really important, and a lot of times I need to have some background knowledge of whatever it is that we're learning, and always making sure that the students, regardless of what you may think they already know, just start with a lot of background knowledge so that everyone is on the same boat. I have this rule in the classroom about not crossing things out in a sketchbook. Another important resource is having enough pencils and sharpened pencils. I'm alone in the classroom. I do not have an assistant, so I do purchase a lot of hand sharpeners, and I give the kids access to them. So here, I just think it's so much more fun drawing with a sharpened pencil. So I do have those, and I also have large erasers that are available at the tables. Now, if you find that your pencils and erasers are disappearing, I would make a mark in the middle of the table that's called the parking lot for the eraser and the parking lot for the sharpener. And so the students don't end up holding them, and then there's arguments over them. So I think it's important to have a parking lot for the eraser and the sharpener for each table. Students love using rulers. A lot of times if you don't have rulers because of budgeting issues, it's always just easy. Just use a cutter and cut cardboard into rulers. And so I hope this was helpful. Please watch my other videos on drawing. This is an entire series on drawing that I'm doing. So this is one of them. Comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video. Go make some art.